rose, right? You are not directly in connection, but you are aloof from the rose, but still you are able to smell the rose. In this way, Lord involves in the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material world. What a beautiful analogy, isn't it? This, the example of how we smell different fragrances. When you have to smell something, you don't have to really touch it or come in physical contact with that object. Simply by the power of your smelling organ, you're able to sense the smell even without physically touching or seeing that particular object. In the same way, how does the Lord involve in creating, maintaining, and destroying this material universe? Not directly. He is not going to directly touch it. He is just going to glance upon the material energy, and just by his glancing, the entire creation kickstarts. The entire creation is happening. And through the various agencies of his agencies like the Devatas, he's maintaining this material world. He has appointed various Devatas to take care of the different affairs and requirements of this material universe. And on behalf of the Lord, all these universal administrators called the Devatas, they manage the affairs of this material universe. And through his agency of Kala, he is going to finally annihilate or destroy this material universe. So he is not directly involved in the day-to-day affairs of this material universe. He is aloof from this material universe. This is a very important understanding we must have. So even though it is without the Lord's desire, without the Lord's energies, creation, maintenance, and annihilation cannot happen within this material universes. Still, he is aloof from all these interactions of the material modes of nature. That is why it is called, that is why Bhagavatam says, Harirhi Nirguna Sakshat. So Hari, Lord Krishna, is free from the influence of the three gunas. He is Nirguna. Nirguna means he is free from the influence of the three gunas. What is happening within this material world, creation, maintenance, and destruction? They're all happening because of the influence of the three gunas. These three gunas are working under the control of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And without the influence of the three gunas, nothing will happen in this material world. But the Lord is aloof from the influence of these three gunas. Right? So in the very first shloka of the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that the Lord is Abhignya Swarat. Abhignya means he is fully cognizant of everything that is happening within this material universe. In every nook and corner, whatever is happening in this material universe, the Lord is fully aware. He is directly and indirectly cognizant. Cognizant means he knows. How he is directly cognizant because he is present in every atom within the universe as Paramatma. He is indirectly cognizant through the agencies of the different administrative devatas who are all managing the affairs of this material world on his behalf. So both directly and indirectly, the Lord is fully cognizant of everything that is happening within this material world. So Prabhupada gives an analogy. Suppose there is a big company, let's say Ford Motors company is there. So the proprietor, Mr. Ford, may be sitting in his chamber personally. But even while he's sitting in his chamber, he's fully aware of everything that is happening in his different factories in different parts of the world. He's fully aware. Right? He sits in an AC chamber and he has a monitor screen in front of him. And whenever he wants to know any reports of any, manufacturer, what is the update of various factories, how many cars have been manufactured at this moment of time, how many have been sold, how many, if he wants to know all of this, just by clicking a few buttons, a report will be available in front of him on the screen. So if an ordinary person of this material world can become conscious of everything that is happening within his factories, not only just one factory, many factories all over the world, then is it impossible for the Lord to become conscious of everything that is happening within the multiple universes? No, not at all. So that is indicated by the word abhignya. Abhignya. Gnya means to know. Abhi means completely, fully, nicely. So he's consciously, he's fully, completely aware of everything that is happening within the material universes. That is abhignya. And then the second one, the second quality of the Supreme Lord is Swarat. Swarat means fully independent. Everything depends on him, but he is not dependent on anybody else or anything else. He is called Swarat. Now that Swarat is indicated here in this shloka with another word, Atma Tantraha. Atma Tantra. Atma means self. Tantra means control. Everything is within his control. Everything is dependent on him. He is self independent, Prabhupada says. Self independent, Atma Tantraha. Like the word Swatantra, we say, right? Swatantra and Paratantra. Swatantra means we ourselves have the control. Paratantra means somebody else is controlling us. So Swatantra or Atma Tantra, the Lord is Atma Tantra. He is fully independent. Why is he Atma Tantra? The Lord says in the seventh chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 7, he says, there is no truth superior to me. Mattah parataram na anyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. O Dhananjaya, O winner of wealth, Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. Right? There is no truth superior to me. I am the ultimate truth. And all other truths are dependent on me. And I am the self-independent truth, supremely independent truth. That is called as Param Satya, absolute truth. So this we have to understand. So the Lord is supremely independent because there is no one whom he is reporting to. All great devatas, including Lord Brahma, are reporting to him, but he is not reporting to anybody else. Therefore, he is called Atma Tantra. He is self independent. These are all wonderful qualities of the Lord which we have to meditate on, which we have to understand. See, when we meditate on these qualities of the Lord, immediately we also get to know that we are not Atma Tantra, isn't it? The Lord is Atma Tantra. He is completely self independent, but we are not Atma Tantra. We are Paratantra. We are controlled by an external agency called Maya. We are controlled by the three modes of material nature. We are controlled by the reactions of our own karma. See how we are bound? We are bound by kama, lobha, krodha, all these things, they are controlling us. We are not free from these influences. So we are always influenced. So we are not Atma Tantra, we are Paratantra. In the seventh canto of Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj says, Tepisha Tantra Urudhamni Baddha. So there also the word Tantra is coming. Tantra means to be controlled. So all of us in this material world are Urudhamni Baddha. Baddha means we are all bound. We are all bound by what? Dhama. Dama. Dama means rope. We are all bound by the ropes of karma. Isn't it? Whereas the Lord, when he comes to this material world, he comes on his own accord. He is not forced by the agency of Kala or Karma. He comes by his own accord. Therefore, he is Atma Tantra. He is not Baddha. He is always Nitya Mukta. Nitya Mukta means he is eternally liberated. Actually, there is no, for the Lord, the word liberation and bondage has no meaning at all. Because the Lord never comes under any bondage. Therefore, there is no question of his liberation. Therefore, he is called Nitya Mukta. He is eternally liberated. He is eternally free from the influence of the three gunas. Whereas all of us, Baddha Jivis, we are called conditioned souls. We are always under the influence of the three gunas. And therefore, Bhagavatam is saying we should take shelter of the Supreme Lord. And when He blesses us, when He is favorably disposed towards us, when He shows His mercy to us, then we can also become free from the influence of all these bondages. So, why should we meditate on the Lord as Swarat, supremely independent, Atma Tantra, self independent? Why? Because that is a reality. And right now we are all bound and we can seek the Lord's pleasure. We can seek the Lord's mercy. Please free me from this material bondage. That is our understanding. So Sutta Goswami is very nicely mentioning the qualities of the Supreme Lord in this shloka. So another important thing, the Lord is called Amogha Leelaha, which means there is nothing lamentable in his creation. His activities are all spotless. Hmm? That means when we do some activity and later on we feel bad about it, oh, I should not have done it. We regret, isn't it? So then it is mogha. Mogha means um, something which is meeting defeat or something which is limited, something which is binding us. Hmm? That is mogha. Opposite of this is amogha. Amogha means there is nothing, there is no uh, shortage or there is nothing which is lacking in Krishna's activities, in his creation. There is nothing which is lacking. Everything is full. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Ishopanishad invocation prayer says that the Supreme Lord is complete in himself and from him innumerable complete units are coming out and still the balance is complete whole, and each of the small units which are coming out of the supreme unit, supreme whole, they are also complete in themselves. So there is nothing which is lacking in Krishna's creation, in Krishna's activities. This we have to understand. So those who try to find fault with Krishna's activities, they themselves are in great fault. Their fault is they are not able to appreciate the reality, the tattva of Krishna. That is their fault. So their vision is faulty. A person who tries to find fault with Krishna, actually there are no faults in Krishna's activities, but the fault exists in that person's vision. Hmm? This we have to understand. So Krishna is always transcendental, and here Prabhupada is saying those who create disturbance in his creation are themselves disturbed. Hmm? This is also very nice. So there's so many demons like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Duryodhana, all of these people, they try to create disturbance in the activities of this material world, in the creation of the Lord. But what happens to them finally? They create disturbance, they themselves get disturbed. Their activities are all foiled by the Lord's super uh, superhuman activities. Nobody can counter the Lord. In other words, in the material world, even though the Lord is not visible, but he has full control over everything that is happening within this material world. And when he finds that there is somebody who is trying to challenge the Lord's supreme position, when somebody is trying to create disturbance in the plan of the Supreme Lord, then the Lord creates disturbance for such disturbing elements. So nobody can challenge the supreme authority of the Supreme Lord. This is a very important point. And Shadvargiki, as mentioned, Shadvargikam, as it is mentioned in the shloka, it indicates the six opulences of the Supreme Lord, which we have discussed many times with reference to the definition of the word Bhagavan. Right? So So, repeating the example of the smelling of a fragrance, how the Lord is involved in this material world, it is like the smelling of a fragrance. We'll read that part once again before we go to the next shloka. He says, it is said here, he creates these manifested universes in order to reclaim the living beings who are within them, suffering threefold miseries, maintains them, and in due course annihilates them without being the least affected by such actions. So the Lord is creating, Lord is creating, maintaining, and annihilating this material world. Is He affected by these activities? No, He is not affected. He is He is affected. He is without being least affected. Prabhupada is saying. See, whenever we do any activity, we become affected by it, isn't it? For example, if somebody is a science professor, for many years he has been teaching science. Now, when he goes back home and he tries to, speak to his family members or relatives or friends, the influence of his work of teaching science for so many years in the university will make him also uh, talk in a scientific manner. He tries to find science or scientific principles even in his casual conversations with people in his house. That means he has got affected by his work, isn't it? He's got affected by his work. Or if you suppose you meet a lawyer. So lawyer is fighting cases for many, many years, and you know his profession will have an influence on him, even in his personal life. That is unavoidable. So the work that we are involved in affects us. It affects us mentally. It affects us, yeah, psychologically. It affects us in so many ways, physically, right? But as far as the Lord is concerned, even though He is creating, maintaining, and annihilating material universes, He is not at all affected by these activities. He is aloof from these activities. His original nature is to simply enjoy loving transactions with His devotees in the spiritual world. That goes on without any being affected. This is very important. So, 5,000 years ago, when Krishna appeared on this planet, he performed various leelas. But his primary leelas are his loving reciprocation with his devotees. Now, he also killed demons. Now, these are secondary leelas. These are actually not done by Krishna, as Srila Prabhupada explains. These are done by his Vasudeva expansion. The four-armed Vasudeva expansion does the job of killing the demons. Killing the demons is not the original function of the Supreme Lord. So in the spiritual world, there is no question of killing demons because there are no demons in the spiritual world. The demons exist only in the material world because there are people who challenge the authority of the Lord only in the material world. As far as in the spiritual world is concerned, there is no such people souls who actually challenge the authority of the Lord. So, the original function of the Lord in the spiritual world, his Nitya Leela, is simply exchange of rasas, loving relationships with his devotees. So, when he comes to this material world, he displays those original loving transactions, dealings, which he has with his eternal liberated souls in the spiritual world. But killing of the demons happens through the Vasudeva feature, Prabhupada explains, not through Krishna. Krishna is not involved in killing any of those demons. Vasudeva, one of his expansions, he does the killing business of all these demons. So, from this, what do we understand? Even though the Lord is involved in the material activities of creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material world, in his original form, he is simply meant for loving and exchanging the loving affairs with his devotees. That's all. None of these material activities affect him. And the example very nicely given in the shloka is uh, Prabhupada is writing, he's connected with this material creation very superficially. Superficially, he is connected. Now, being superficial does not mean he is indifferent. No, both are two different things. Superficially, the Lord is connected with the material world. Uh, that means he is not affected. Example given is as one smells odor without being connected with the odorous article. This we have discussed already in the beginning of the session today. If you're smelling a jasmine flower, you don't have to touch the jasmine flower. You know, even though the jasmine flower is at a distance from you, you can smell the flower. Like that, the Lord is involved superficially with the activities of this material world. But He is never indifferent. Why do we say He's not indifferent? Because whenever there is adharma, He personally comes to set things right. Especially for His devotees' sake, He comes. So He is not indifferent. He is very responsible, but He stays aloof. He never gets attached to this material world. Now, a very similar thing Krishna is instructing all of us in the Bhagavad Gita when he gives the analogy of Padma Patra Ivam Bhasa. A person, a devotee of the Lord, how he should be involved in this material world. See, Krishna is doing so many things, but he's not at all attached to this material world. In the same way, he's telling, my dear devotees, if you want to come to my spiritual world, you should also behave like me. He's giving an example, just like you should all live in this material world like water drops on the lotus leaf. What is the meaning of this? Padma Patra Ivam Bhasa. Padma Patra means lotus leaf. Ambhasa means water. So if there is water on the lotus leaf, water is there. We are able to physically see that water is there on the lotus leaf. But the water does not wet the surface of the lotus leaf. It is there and it is not there simultaneously. It is there because we are able to see, yes, water is there on the lotus leaf, but it is not affecting, the lotus leaf is not affecting, getting affected. The lotus leaf is not getting affected by the water. It is not getting wetted by the water. Like this, a devotee should conduct himself in this material world. Why? Because this material world is not my real home. I have just come here to fulfill my term of imprisonment in this body. In the past, in many, many bodies, I have served many terms of imprisonment. So if I become attached to this prison house, then what is the benefit that I'm going to get? I'll simply get entangled. I'll simply get stuck in the cycle of birth and death. I will remain in this material world. So better, while I'm living in this material world, let me engage all my senses, let me engage my mind, my body, everything in the Lord's service. When I do that, then it is like water being, the lotus leaf being untouched by water. It is like that. So this is the way to lead our life in this material world. A devotee, he is in the material world, but he is never affected by the material world. Why? Because he engages everything that he gets, he has, including his body and mind, in the service of the Lord. Prabhupada once said, a pure devotee of the Lord, even though he may be living in the material world, he is eternally residing in the spiritual world. Apparently, he may be living in the material world, but he is not actually attached to anything in the material world. He is always attached to Krishna and his devotional service. Therefore, he is not in this material world. He is in the spiritual world. That is why wherever a pure devotee goes, he can convert that place into a place of pilgrimage. He can convert that place into Vaikuntha, because the pure devotee always carries the Lord within his heart, and he can deliver Krishna to anybody. Krishna se tomara, Krishna dite paro, tomara shakati ache. So it is within the capacity of a pure devotee to actually give Krishna to anybody, because Krishna is his property. Wherever he goes, he is simply thinking about Krishna. Therefore, even in this material world, a pure devotee remains untouched by the modes of material nature. So that is the understanding we get from this shloka. A very beautiful shloka. Let's go to the next shloka, shloka number 37. न चास्य कश्चिन्निपुणेन धातुः अवैति जन्तुः कुमनीष ऊतिः नामानि रूपाणि मनोवचोभिः सन्तन्वतो नटचर्याम् इवाज्ञः. Another very beautiful verse, poetic description. Let us see. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Suta Goswami said, the foolish with a poor fund of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, names, and activities of the Lord, who is playing like an actor in a drama. Nor can they express such things neither in their speculations nor in their words. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. No one can properly describe the transcendental nature of the absolute truth. Therefore, it is said that he is beyond the expression of mind and speech. And yet, there are some men with a poor fund of knowledge who desire to understand the absolute truth by imperfect mental speculation and faulty description of his activities. To the layman, his activities, appearance and disappearance, his names, his forms, his paraphernalia, his personalities, and all things in relation with him are mysterious. There are two classes of materialists, namely the fruitive workers and the empiric philosophers. The fruitive workers have practically no information of the absolute truth, and the mental speculators, after being frustrated in fruitive activities, turn their faces towards the absolute truth and try to know him by mental speculation. And for all these men, the absolute truth is a mystery, as the jugglery of the magician is a mystery to children. Being deceived by the jugglery of the Supreme Being, the non devotees, who may be very dexterous in fruitive work and mental speculation, are always in ignorance. With such limited knowledge, they are unable to penetrate into the mysterious region of transcendence. The mental speculators are a little more progressive than the gross materialists or the fruitive workers, but because they are also within the grip of illusion, they take it for granted that anything which has a form, a name, and activities is but a product of material energy. For them, the Supreme Spirit is formless, nameless, and inactive. And because such mental speculators equalize the transcendental name and form of the Lord with mundane names and form, they are in fact in ignorance. With such a poor fund of knowledge, there is no access to the real nature of the Supreme Being. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is always in a transcendental position, even when he is within the material world. But ignorant men consider the Lord one of the great personalities of the world, and thus they are misled by the illusory energy. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport. See another very beautiful verse. Nachasya kaschin nipunena dhatuhu. Dhatuhu means of the creator. Nipunena by dexterity, by eloquent scholarship. Na cha asya kaschit. Kaschit means anybody. No one can understand the Supreme Lord, the creator of this entire existence, with their great dexterity, with their great scholarly abilities. Nachasya kaschin nipunena dhatuhu avaiti jantuhu. Avaiti means can know. Jantuhu means all of us, the living beings. Kumanisha utihi. Kumanishaha. So Prabhupada is translating with a one of his very favorite Prabhupada's signature phrases, one of those, with a poor fund of knowledge. So this is very special. This we will not see in any other books. This special expression called poor fund of knowledge. Now this is a very interesting expression that Prabhupada uses in his books. Kumanishaha. means a person with a poor fund of knowledge, right? So a person, the living beings who have got poor fund of knowledge, that means who have no proper understanding about the Supreme Lord, with all their great abilities and talents and scholarly dexterity, they will not be able to understand or know the Supreme Lord. That is the point here in the first two shloka, first two lines. Nachasya kaschin nipunena dhatuhu. Nipuna means very expert. And Prabhupada is saying nipunena by dexterity. Prabhupada is translating. So nachasya kaschin nipunena dhatuhu avaiti jantuhu kumanisha utihi. Utihi means uh, activities of the Lord. So the activities of the Lord, the wonderful pastimes that he performs, can never be understood by the jantuhu who are kumanishaha, who are actually having a poor fund of knowledge, who don't have proper understanding. Why they don't have proper understanding? Because they try to speculate about the activities of the Lord. Instead of accepting the activities of the Lord as described in the Parampara system, as they are, they try to speculate with their great dexterity of their so called mental and intellectual abilities. And that is why they will never be able to understand. Na avaiti. Nobody will be able to understand in this way. And then here it is said, third line, Namani Rupani Manovachobihi. Namani, his names, Rupani, his forms. These are all plural. Manovachobihi, by dint of mental speculation or deliverance of speeches. Vachobihi, by descriptions. Huh? Namani Rupani Manovachobihi Santanvato Natacharyam Ivajnaha. Santanvataha means displaying. Natacharyam, just like a dramatic actor, dramatic action. So here the Prabhupada is translating, the foolish with a poor fund of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, Rupani, names, Namani, and activities of the Lord. Utihi, who is playing like an actor in a drama, Natacharyam. Nor can they express such things. They cannot express such things. Mano vachobihi, neither in their speculations nor in their words. So, iva ajnaha. Ajnaha means foolish people. One who has no jnana, he is called ajna, foolish. So, the sum and substance of this verse is, if we try to speculate about the Lord, being so proud about our own material abilities, we will not be able to understand the Lord. Because the Lord's activities are very bewildering. Just like when we see a person whom we know very well, if he nicely puts on a different costume and with nice makeup, he comes on a stage on a theatrical play, and he in a theatrical play and he starts performing. So even though we may know him, but we will not be able to recognize him. So Kunti Maharani also says this in her prayers in the first canto, 8th chapter of the Bhagavatam. He says, Nato Natya Dharo Yatha. Nataha. Nataha means an actor. Natya Dharo, in a theatrical performance, in a drama performance. The Nata, even though he may be familiar, but because he's covered with his costumes and his makeup, it is not easy to recognize such a Nata. Especially if a Nata is very, very capable Nata. If he is a very, great actor, seasoned performer, seasoned actor, then it becomes even more difficult to recognize the real person behind the character, isn't it? So, in the same way, Krishna's activities are all like that. Krishna's activities cannot be understood by foolish people who have no understanding about the standard parampara knowledge. Because they try to speculate, they're always misled. So that is why here it is the word used is kumanisha. They have a poor fund of knowledge. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that no one can properly describe the transcendental nature of the absolute truth. Therefore, it is said that he is beyond the expression of mind and speech. So, in the Vedic scriptures, it is said, Avan Manasa Gocharaha. This is one of the qualities of the Lord. Gocharaha means to be visible or to be understood. Avak Manasa. Vak means through our words, through our descriptions. And Manasa means through our mind, through our speculation. The Lord is called Avan Manasa Gocharaha. The Lord can never be understood through our descriptions, our ability to describe Him through jugglery of words, nor we can understand Him through our ability to speculate. So it is not through these means that we can understand the Lord. So the Lord is beyond our power to speculate and beyond our ability to describe. Hmm? In the Upanishads also it is said that Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhyaha Na Bahuna Shrutena. Bahuna Shrutena. You cannot understand the Lord uh, if you think that through my scholarly abilities I will understand him. No, you will not be able to understand. Bahuna Shrutena. Shrutaha means to be learned. Oh, I have studied all the Vedas. Now I know about the Lord. No, that is not the way to know the Lord. So he is beyond our expression of mind and speech. But when the pure devotees of the Lord, when they please the Lord with their devotional service, then the Lord empowers their speeches. Even though the Lord is beyond our speech, the Lord makes himself available for us to know through the speeches of his pure devotees. That is his greatness. Just like Mother Yashoda, she bound Lord Krishna in the Damodar Leela. We hear this every year for 1 month. We meditate upon the Damodar Leela during Deepotsava. So it is impossible to bind the Lord with a ordinary rope. Still, he got bound by Mother Yashoda. Why? Is it because Mother Yashoda was such a great Vedic scholar? Is it because she had such great abilities to speculate and describe about the Lord in varieties of words and languages? No, it was not because of these material abilities that the Lord got bound. Because Mother Yashoda had, pure love and devotion for Krishna. Therefore, Krishna, upon seeing the great endeavor of Mother Yashoda to bind him, knowing very well Krishna knew that Mother Yashoda will not be able to bind him unless he agrees to be bound. So Krishna got attracted to the labor of love and devotion of Mother Yashoda, which was pure and spotless. And then he agreed to get bound. Bhagavatam says, Swabandhanaha. It was not Mother Yashoda who bound Krishna. Swabandhanaha. He agreed to get bound himself. Then Mother Yashoda was able to bind Krishna. In Damodara Ashtaka also we see Bhakti Baddhaha. The Lord was Bhakti Baddha. He was bound by the pure love and devotion of Krishna. So we should never think that by our material abilities of word jugglery or mental speculation, we will be able to grasp or get hold of Krishna. It is not possible. Not at all possible. So that is what is indicated here when it is said here, Avaiti Jantuhu Kumanisha Utihi. Kumanisha, who have got a poor fund of knowledge, they will never be able to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord. They will mistake the activities of the Lord to be ordinary, material, mundane activities. So for such people, the Lord's activities are all mysterious. It is a big mystery. right? It's not easy to understand. Like you must have heard murder mystery. Murder mystery means what? You know, the murderer is such a professional killer that he has not left any evidence. And now, for the police, the investigation officer who is trying to find out how this murder was conducted, and is there any evidence that I can get and I can get hold of the murderer? No, it is not so easy. So, therefore, they say it is a mystery. This murder is a mystery, they say, right? Not easy to understand. It's very, very difficult to break, right? So, in the same way, the activities of the Lord are mysterious for those who have no devotion, those who have no understanding about the devotional service to the Lord, right? So, Prabhupada is saying another example here. For all these men, that means the fruitive workers and the mental speculators, especially for the mental speculators, Prabhupada is saying, for all these men, the absolute truth is a mystery, as the jugglery of the magician is a mystery to children. If there is a magician, in our childhood, we would have seen many magicians, and let's say he has a hat, and out of the hat, he takes out a rabbit. You know, when he gives such magical, this is called jugglery. Or he has three balls, and very nicely he juggles the three balls and he balances all of them very nicely. Now, when such performances are seen by children, what do they think? Oh, children think this magician. Oh, how is he able to do this? Right? Children will not. They think it is a mystery. For the children, it is a mystery. How this magician is able to balance the three balls or four balls? How is he able to bring out a pigeon or a rabbit out of a empty hat? Now, these are all very, very difficult for the child to understand. Therefore, the child thinks it's a mystery, right? In the same way, for those who try to speculate about the Lord, uh, the activities of the Lord are all a mystery. So, in the 14th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma is giving us a prescription how to understand the activities of the Lord. So he says, give up this speculation business. Jnane prayasamudapasya namanta eva. So he's saying in one line what you should not do, what you should do. He's saying, Jnane prayasam udapasya. Udapasya means to give up. You give up what? Jnana prayasa. Jnana prayasa means speculation. Oh, by my own intellectual ability, by my own mind power, I will study the whole Bhagavad Gita and I will figure out what is Krishna. So this I will figure out, this is that pride which stops us from getting access to Krishna. Maya javanikachannam ajnadhokshajam avyayam nalakshyase mudha nato natyadharo yatha. So Kunti Maharani in her prayer is saying, for the mudhas, for the foolish people who are so proud about their own abilities to know you, you put a curtain of Maya between yourself and them. Maya javanika achannam. Javanika means curtain. Maya curtain is achannam. It is covering you, O Krishna. So even though you are present, the mudhas na lakshyate, you are not visible to them because of this curtain of Maya. And what is this curtain of Maya? Why this curtain of Maya is being put? Because these people are trying to, instead of namanta, instead of offering respects to Krishna, instead of surrendering to Krishna, these people think by my own ability I will find out Krishna. So this is the point. So Lord Brahma is saying, Jnane prayasa mudapasya. You give up this jnana prayasa. You give up this futile attempt of trying to understand Krishna through your fertile brain. Instead, what you should do? Namanta eva. You simply bow down in front of Krishna with genuine humility and surrender. Sthane sthita Shrutigatan tanuvan manobihi. You simply sit down in your own place, be situated in your own position, sthane sthita, and you go on hearing. Shruti-gatam tanuvan manobihi. Go on hearing from pure devotees. Go on hearing from Shukadev Goswami, this Bhagavatam. You go on hearing. And when you keep hearing, then what happens? Your mind will become purified. You will give up this false pride that by my own attempts I will be able to figure out everything about Krishna. And when you become purified like that, then Krishna becomes pleased with your service. Krishna becomes pleased with you. Then Krishna, who is generally Ajitaha, who is Ajita means unconquerable, becomes Jitaha. Lord Brahma says he becomes Jitaha. Jitaha means he becomes conquered. The Lord who is Ajitaha becomes conquered by your humility and surrender and devotional service. So this is Lord Brahma's, you know, his prescription for us that give up this jnane prayasam, give up this futile attempts of trying to understand the Lord through mental speculation, and instead you become situated in your own position and go on hearing about the activities of the Lord from the lips of pure devotees. And then with your then when you become matured like that in the process of Shravanam, you will the Lord will reveal himself to you. The Lord who is otherwise Ajitaha becomes Jita. He becomes conquered. So that is the understanding that this verse is also conveying to us, that through our abilities we cannot understand. The Ajnaha, the foolish people with a poor fund of knowledge, cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, names, and activities of the Lord who is playing like an actor in a drama. Nor can they express such things neither in their speculations nor in their words. So, when we are trying to understand the Lord, keep aside our speculation and simply take up the process of submissive Shravanam, and reading Srila Prabhupada books is actually Shravanam, because Prabhupada is speaking about the absolute truth about Krishna. He's revealing purport after purport. When you keep reading, we understand more and more about Krishna. And when we understand Krishna, we also understand how tiny we are, how insignificant we are. And by our own abilities, it is not possible to understand Krishna. Unless Krishna chooses to reveal himself to us, we cannot understand Krishna. And Krishna will choose to reveal himself to us only when he sees that we are completely humble and we are completely surrendered to him and his pure devotee. So then he will reveal himself to us. So trying to speculate about the Lord is like desiring to see the sun in the night. In the night, if your sun is not there in the sky, how can you see him? It's not possible, isn't it? It's not possible. But in the daytime, as soon as the sun rises, without your special efforts, without your speculation, the sun is visible right in front of your eyes, brightly shining. So, in the same way, Krishna will reveal himself to us when he is pleased with our sincere surrender and devotional service. So, when we are studying Bhagavatam, this should be our mood. Our mood should not be that, oh, I know Sanskrit language, oh, I can understand this. No. What Prabhupada is explaining, let us try to see. What is the word to word meaning Prabhupada is giving? What is the translation and purport? What Prabhupada is explaining? Let us try to understand the way Prabhupada is explaining. Then we will be able to understand something about Krishna. So with this, we'll close the session. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.